Assalamu alaikum. Today we will configure and install the SQUID proxy server. It is a proxy server and is used for caching and filtering the web content. It is used by various organizations and the service providers to reduce the bandwidth and to filter the undesirable content from the internet. So for that, let's just start with the configuration. First, we need to log in as a root user. Okay, we have done it. Next, we will install the SQUID by the command yum install SQUID. I have already installed it, so it's already installed in latest version. For you, it will take some time to install. So now we have installed the service. We have discussed the commands to start, enable and disable the services. So I will use the same command here. To enable and start the SQUID service, we will use the command system ctl start SQUID, and also we will enable and we can check the status as well. Active and running. Okay, now we will start with the configuration. So the system, the SQUID service, for that we need to stop the firewall and we will allow the service via iptables. So to stop the firewall service, we will again use the command system ctl. We are stopping the service, so we will use the stop and then the name of the service firewall d, and then the command to mask it completely. Okay, now we have installed the SQUID server. We can access the configuration file. The path for the configuration file is vim. We are opening the file into the Vim editor. Path is etc squid.conf, the same path as we discussed in DHCP and DNS server. So this is the configuration file. We will make changes to this configuration file and see how it results. Okay, so now we are configuring the server on this machine. So we will have the IP address of the SQUID server. To find the IP address, we will use the command addr. So the IP address of this device is internet is not running, as you can see. We will first connect to the internet and then it will give you the IP address. So as you can see here, now the internet is connected. Now we will use the same command to check the IP address. So here you can see the IP address is 10.0.2.15. This is the IP address of this device. Now we will add this IP address to the SQUID configuration file. This is the configuration file. At the first, where subnets are defined, we will add the IP address here. In insert mode, ACL local net src, and the IP address was 10.0.2.15, I think. Save and quit. 10.0 exactly, that was the IP address. Now we added the IP address. Now we will add the IP tables, because we have stopped the firewall and the SQUID server will work through the IP table service. So for that, if you already have installed, you need to update the IP tables, and if you don't have the IP tables already installed, first you need to install them by yum install IP iptables services, iptables services. So it's installing the iptable services. Will take some time. Yes. It's downloading the service. Okay, we have installed it. Now we will start the iptable service using the command systemctl start iptables. And now we have started the iptables, but we need to tell the iptable its configuration file that it should allow the SQUID server. So we will allow the port of the SQUID into the iptables. For that, first we need to access the configuration file of iptables. We will open it in editor, vim etc sys config iptables. Here you can see there are already entries. We will follow the same pattern and we will create an entry for our SQUID server. So we are adding the port for our SQUID server. So for that we need to go to the insert mode. See, this line is for adding a port. So we will add a port, and here we will write the port address. The port address of our SQUID server is 3128, and we will add the TCP and UDP state. Okay, we will use this one. So let's just press enter. Switch A, input, switch B, switch B, TCP, then hyphen D port for this is 3128 -J and accept. Switch A, input, switch B, TCP, switch M, TCP, D port, the port is 3128, switch A and accept. Now we will save and quit. So we have done this. Now we have updated the iptables. As you always remember, whenever we change the configuration file, we have to restart the service to make the changes appear in your results. So for that we will write the command here for restarting service. Systemctl restart IP and we will also restart our SQUID service. Okay, now we have added the IP address of a SQUID server in the configuration file, and we have also added the port of the server into the iptables. Now what we need to do is we need to go to the browser and we will change the setting and we will add the IP address of our SQUID server into the proxy, so that from now on all the requests to the internet are going to pass through that SQUID server. So after configuring the proxy server, we have added the proxy IP address of the proxy server in the configuration file. The next thing we need to do is we need to add the proxy server setting into the browser, because all the access will be made through the browser. What you need to do is open the browser and open the proxy settings. Instead of no proxy or auto-detected proxy, use the manual proxy configuration and add the IP address of your proxy server. Here you will add the proxy server, and here you will add the port. The proxy server, the SQUID proxy listens on the port 3128, so I added the port 8. Then also use this proxy for FTP and HTTP. So from this point onward, all the requests that you make on this browser will go through the proxy server. Now, whatever the websites you have added to the block list, if you have requests using this browser, it will go to the proxy server. The proxy server will check the denied list and allowed list, and if that website is added into the denied list, the request to that proxy that specific website will be denied. After the installation of the SQUID server and adding the proxy server into your browser, now we will create a list of blocked website, and we will see if your proxy server is able to block that site. For this reason, we need to do the three things. The first thing is we need to create a file in which we will add the URL of our blocked website. The second step is we will add the path of that file into the SQUID configuration file. And the third step is we need to deny the HTTP access to that specific file that you have created. Okay, the first thing is we need to create a file. For the file creation, we will open the file in a Vim editor, and the path is etc squid / blocked sites .squid. So you need to remember the name of the file that you have created, because we will add this path to the configuration file as well. So this is the file. You created a file and you will add the websites here. I have already added the www.facebook.com. You can add the URL of any website that you do not want your user in your network to access. You can add, and then you can save and quit. Again, you can see the Twitter has been added. Now we have created this file. Now we have to add the path of this file into SQUID configuration file. So the configuration file is etc squid.conf. ठीक है, यहाँ पर first we need to create the access control list of that blocked website, and then also HTTP access. For this reason, for access list here, we will add entry for the newly created file, the file that we have created, blocklist.squid. Okay, we will use the command acl blocked sites. This is the name, and dst domain is the type of ACL. We are providing the domain of destination domain, and destination domain is written in a file, and we will add the path of that file here, SQUID squid blocked sites .squid. So we have created the entry, and the third thing is I told you that we have to deny the HTTP access to these blocked sites. So this is the HTTP access. Here we will write HTTP access. We are denying the access, so we will write deny, and deny the access to what? This name, the name that you have used. You have to write the same name here, BLOCKED blocked sites, save and quit. So whenever you change the configuration file, you need to restart the service. So we will restart systemctl restart squid, restart squid. So there is an error. We will need to check the configuration file. What is the error? Okay, HTTP blocked sites, that's correct. Here you can see the name are different. S is missing, block site, destination, domain. Okay, ठीक है. So save and quit. Restart the service. There is again an error. We will check the status because the control process is with an error code. See system CTL status. अच्छा, status से पता चलेगा where is the error. So we will use system CTL status of SQUID. It's failed and failed because of status failure, process configuration, user panel. Acha. We will check the configuration file again. This is correct. ACL blocked sites. Oh, destination domain. The type is DST, not DTT. Insert DST. DST domain. DST domain. Okay, now it should run. Again error. ACL blocked site DST domain and then etc squid blocked sites.squid. This is correct. etc हाँ इसी में बनाया था. And then HTTP deny blocked sites. As there is a problem in my keyboard with the S key, so it makes an error every time. Now it's restarted. Now you can check the status as well. Now it is active and running. So now if we have done everything correctly, now our browser should block the access to the facebook.com and the error message should be that your proxy server is blocking the access. So I will show you now. So here you can see I tried to access the facebook.com and it says the proxy server is refusing connection. The Firefox is configured to use a proxy server that is refusing connection. Since I have added facebook.com into the blocked site list, so your internet or your browser is requesting the given URL or given web page via proxy server. The request is filtered via your proxy server, as we already discussed and studied that proxy server is used to filter the packets as well and block the access to the users as well. So whenever you need to block a website from your internet network, you can add it using you can add it to your block list and you can block the access using your proxy server. You can add as many websites into the block list and all those websites will be blocked using the proxy server. So we have seen how we can deny the access to specific domains and your URL. The same we can do with the IP addresses as well. We need to follow the same 3 steps. First, we will create a file where we will add the IP addresses. Then we will open the SQUID configuration file and will add an entry ACL for the IP addresses. And the third thing is we need to tell your HTTP access that it has to deny the file. I will show you how to do. First, we need to create a file. So we'll open vim etc squid. Now we are blocking IP. So blocked IP.squid. This is just the name. You can change the name. And then here you will write the IP address 192.168. insert mode 192.168.168.10.23. You can add any IP address 23.78, and then you will insert 192.168.2.15 69.45.78.123, whatever IP address. Save and quit. Now we will open the configuration file etc squid.conf configuration file. So here we will add the ACL entry for our IP addresses. Here ACL. Now we have the block sites. Now we are blocking the IP address. So the name of our is block IP. So we will write block IP, and the type for IP addresses we write src, and then we will write the path. The path is etc squid squid or blocked blocked IP dot squid. Blocked IP dot squid tha ke block simple. Let me check again. It is blocked ed. Yeah. Okay, blocked IP, and then we will add HTTP access, we are also denying the access, so we will write deny blocked IP, save and quit. Now we will restart the service by using command systemctl restart what? Squid. It is restarted. Now you can open a browser again, and you will see that the IP address is being blocked by your proxy server.